What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Benjamin Hogshead Music. Back in with another video. In today's video, I kind of want to talk to you guys, basically going over how I self-taught myself, how I taught myself how to sing, step by step. So today before we get started with the main part of the video, I briefly want to go over how I found myself interested in singing in the first place. I started singing back in 2023, and honestly, I remember it like it was yesterday. Back then, and this is how a lot of my songs are recorded that you hear. A lot of them are recorded this way. So, I was using my iPad's screen recorder, and I was screen recording myself and using the built-in microphone and everything and stuff like that. And I wasn't really good at first, but there was something about singing that connected with me, and eventually I started talking to myself, and I was like, man, I was really like, man, I really want to get good at this. Like, I really do. Like, I really want to get good at this. So over time, so I started singing and taking singing a lot serious sometime or into that year, into 2024, where I started taking 2024 more serious for practicing with singing and everything. So 2024 is when I took singing a lot more serious, like the logistics of wanting to sing. And in 2025 I started singing a lot more, and in 2026 I started making original music. So basically in today's video, I kind of want to give you guys like a step-by-step guide, like how to sing, if you want to teach yourself how to sing and everything. So that's the main part of this video, is what I want to go over. I want to go over with you guys. So, step 1, practice consistently. Practice makes perfect. One of the biggest things that helped me improve was consistency. Back in 2024, especially, I would practice for a couple hours, stop for a bit, rest my voice, then come back later and practice again, and I kept repeating that almost every day. There were some days where I overdid the practicing, overdid singing, and kind of got my voice all kind of dried out and stuff like that. So I had to take a break, and then I'd go back in after a couple hours. Not a couple hours, but after taking some days for a rest and everything, and stuff like that. And honestly, that helped me way more than just sounding perfect. That honestly helped way more than sounding good immediately right off the bat, because you want to sound good, but you don't want to sound good right off the bat. right off the get-go. And this is true. A lot of people quit way too early because they don't sound amazing at singing right away. And I honestly wanted to give up. Almost thought about wanting to give up. But I didn't. I pursue my music, pursue music as one thing I've always wanted to do. Since I was little, I kept hearing music on the radio when I was little. I was like, one day, I was thinking to myself, I was like maybe 6. I was maybe 6 years old. And I was like, one day, I'm going to sing like these people and show people I can sing. And I started taking that to heart. Especially when I started singing back in 2023, over 3 years ago. Is when I started singing for the first time and everything. But singing takes time. You slowly improve over months and years if you keep practicing consistently. So if you're trying to teach yourself how to sing too, consistency is one of the biggest things. It's one of the biggest things I'd recommend. Is one of the things that I'd recommend doing. Step 2, learn breathing controls. Learn breathing techniques. Because during singing and talking, you kind of have to have that consistent breathing and taking breaths, taking a breath of air and stuff. And that's another thing that's helped me a lot was breathing control, because whenever I would sing over a beat, I started finding a little breathing point inside the instrumental where I could naturally catch my breath without messing up the flow of the song. And honestly, learning where to breathe is super important. You don't just randomly try to force everything into every lyric into one breath. Like one line you could say in one breath, but if there's a part of the instrumental beat that you find on YouTube, or if you're doing a cover song and there's a part in the cover songs, in the instrumental of that song you're trying to cover, and there's a point where you know before you're getting to the next line, into the next line and stuff, use that moment to take a breath so you don't lose your steady rhythm for when you're breathing. That's another thing. And that's another thing that's helped me where that could help you where you can naturally breathe without ruining the rhythm of the song. That helped me sing smoother and longer without running out of breath over time. Over time. And step 3, practicing holding longer notes, long notes. And how I did it was, I would practice not singing, but saying a word just as long as I would until my voice until I got tired and couldn't hold that note anymore. Like this, I could just say, I'm gonna just throw out a random word. Food. Okay? I'm gonna try to say that word as long as I can and see how far I can sing it. Okay? Food. food. See how I stopped and kind of continued. See, that's what you should do, is practice doing that thing exactly. And another thing that I've learned to do, especially because when I first heard the song by Linkin Park, the band Linkin Park, is in their song What I've Done, where Chester Bennington would go and sing that note in the lyric where he'll go, what I've done, and stretch out the word like I just did for the word that I was using as a reference, food, and how he could say that note is long like that. And everything. So I started literally practicing, not just because Chester could do it, not just because I heard that song. That song kind of inspired me to want to try to practice that better. So I would practice myself just doing covers of it and seeing how far I could say that word in the notes and stuff like I did. So if you like, and over time, my breathing control and note control slowly got better. Like, it got better and everything. So if you want to improve your long notes, to practice stretching words out and learn how to control your breathing while doing it. It's not easy, guys. No, it is not. You're going to try to do it and say, oh, this could be easy. So these are steps that I've learned. And I kind of want to be the one who's learned a lot myself with singing and want to teach y'all newcomers, new into wanting to get into singing. Like, I didn't go to no vocal classes, none of that stuff. I didn't go to learn how to sing. I taught myself everything. So basically, everything I'm telling y'all is basically what I taught myself. So, in retrospect, put it this way. Everything I've learned when I was teaching myself to sing is what I'm teaching you guys to know everything and every bit about singing. Because singing is one of those things that when you want to get into it, you want to get into it. And everything. Step 4, experiment with your own voice. Another really important thing is experimenting with your voice. And a lot of people try too hard to sound exactly like another singer, while impersonating, well, is good, but it's also important to slowly find your own sound. Like, sound the way you want to sound, not sound the way Chester Bennington sounds, or how the lead singer of Dragon Force sounds, trying to mimic their voice and the way they sound when singing. It's not what I would recommend, but it's one of those things, if you want to do it, you be okay with it. I'm okay with it. But finding your own voice, finding the way you sound with your own natural voice is a lot better than wanting to sing the way another singer does. And recently, especially in 2026, I started learning how to add a raspiness tone to my singing that I sort of added into a few of my songs, which you probably already heard. and everything. And I've learned to do screaming vocals. But right now, I would show y'all how I could do screaming vocals. But here, I'm going to show y'all just a little bit how to do screaming vocals right here. Okay? You kind of want to get your voice to go low, down, deep, and then push through, and you go whoa, 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 and then push through and keep doing that. Keep doing that, okay? And do it like this. Once you do it like that, you get better. You get better. And one more important thing I want to say, do not force your voice too hard trying to sound insane. Control matters way more than screaming loudly. Like that way, the way I showed y'all how I do my screaming vocals is the way I do it, is the way I can do it without pushing my voice like to the max. And step 5, warm up before singing. Another thing that's helped me over time was warming up my voice before recording. Before singing, I would usually do vocal warm-ups and breathing exercises before first because it helped my voice sound way more consistent when I started recording. And honestly, warming up is really important if you're going to be singing a lot, especially if you're practicing hard vocal or raspiness vocals. That's really going to help y'all. That's really going to help y'all and everything. And take that in consideration. So, step 6. Record final take. Another thing I've personally liked to do is recording full takes instead of recording every single line separately. It helps it like each part of the song where it'll go the first verse, chorus, or second verse, whatever. I like to do it all in one take, but here's what I usually do. When I'm recording over a beat that I find and stuff like that, I usually whatever. So I'm gonna take you guys a little bit before I move on before I move on. Usually, what I do is I'll sing all in one take, and when I get to like where the chorus will come back up in the song, like say for the first chorus in the song, if I say what I want said in the first chorus, when I do all one take of it, I'll go in post-production, like take the stems out, and I'll take like stem and isolate my vocals where the chorus is, and I'll put whatever I say for the chorus into the part where the chorus will come back, just to like get it to where, so I'm not trying to remember what I say for the chorus when I'm trying to do the whole song in one take. That's the only thing I basically do. But for the first verse, chorus, for the first chorus of the song, and the second verse, and the first verse, and the second verse, and whatever breakdown part is usually what I do all in one take. And now, obviously, everybody records differently, and that's something that personally helps with me, and helps me. Okay, and I just like doing it that way because it gives a more raw feel to and emotion to my music. And another thing I want to add another thing I want to add. Okay. Is my vocal warm-ups. Another thing I do for vocal warm-ups is I sing. Like if I'm to keep my voice like ready for singing whenever I go to record something, I just sing throughout my day and just kind of practice up that way and everything. So I just want to say that's one way I do another vocal like exercise as well. So, final thoughts. And final thoughts now. Honestly, I'm still learning every single day. I'm not sitting here. I'm actually standing. So, I'm not standing here, but I'm not standing here acting like I'm the greatest singer ever, because I'm still growing, still practicing, and still improving all the time. But looking back from 2023 to now, I can definitely hear how much progress I've made. So if you are somebody out there trying to teach yourself how to sing, hopefully some of these tips and things I've learned help you out. But yeah, just stay consistent, keep practicing, and don't give up on yourself too early, because you never know how much you can improve if you just keep going. And just keep going. Don't give up. But one thing I do want to tell you, and always remember, Jesus loves you.